Aloha, everyone. I am very happy to introduce to you a dear friend from Coba, Quintana Roo, Mexico. And this is Virgil Gomez. And we are collaborating with Virgil and his amazing work with Mayan women and supporting and saving the Melipona bees. And so I want to just read a little bit of your bio here, Virgil, and then I'd like to invite you to teach us about this amazing project working with the Melipona bees and the Mayan women, empowering this connection. So Virgil Gomez of Casa Itzamna has 30 years experience in social work, helping people to improve their lives through improving their connection with nature. His main focus is to re-educate the people about the uses of the Mayan medicinal plants and the Melipona honey. And this is honey from the native stingless honeybees in the Yucatan jungle. So through his research on the medicinal plants, he connected with many Mayan healers in remote areas. And today, the communities that you work with, Virgil, 90% of them only speak Mayan still. So your focus, I'm going to let you talk about your main focus with empowering the midwives, the Mayan midwives. But first, I just want to thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Maria. I thank you for your interest, your patience, and your love for the nature. And one of the most important animals in this world is the bee. So I thank you for your time. I will present myself. My name is Virgilio Gomez Morales. I live in Quintana Roo. I live in Tulum, Mexico. I live in a Maya community that is called Coba. And we have around us 14 different communities, like Maria says, that only speak Maya, or in the most parts of the community, the 90%. And these communities are very poor and doesn't receive participation of the tourism because there's not an inclusion system or vision. So we need to work directly with the Maya woman to help them to evolve, to have opportunities. But I didn't told you who I am. I'm a sociologist with a master in development of the sustainable development of the environment.
Mm.
Those are my most important objectives in life. Help people, specific women, and want to preserve history, identity, and wildlife. So that's the reason. So I came here to Quintana Roo to work with the Mayan. I make specific work researching about the Maya plants, and I have two books. One book is 250 plants for a botanical garden, and the other is the most important plants that the Maya use for the problems of this time. So there is 14 plants that they are the most used, and I put the most important healers in the peninsula in debating to make an agreement of what are the most important plants, and they decide for it. So that's one of the investigation that take me near from the healers. And after I research about gastronomy, and I research about the Mayan bees, and when I research from the Mayan bees, I could check that the information has been lost in time, and the bees were just like an uncle that we need to feel near, but we don't talk frequently with it. So people has a colony or a hive of Mayan bees, but don't know how to work it well with bees. So I make a special scientific research so we can be able to promote the most careful way to management the Maya bee, and we have the honor to tell you that we have the best management of this in the whole country. So that's why we have been working with the organization in Mexico that try to pair with the biodiversity, and we make research for that organization. And we have a methodology so we can use the best condition to work with these bees. So we can make happy the bees, the women, and they can be able to have honey in their hand. We will protect the Maya forest. We protect the identity of this wonderful woman because they are the only one that know how to name each one of these trees of this Mayan forest, and also they are the people who care that antique knowledge to know how to preserve this piece and also how to make these different medicine. That's like I told you, I have 20 years in this part of the world, and I have the possibility in these years to work in the rescue of the Maya plants, the gastronomy, and also trying to rescue these Maya bees. So I have enough time to be in touch with the most important scientific and make my own research. So I develop a methodology so you can be able to have your own hive in your house and be able to have a good management with the new information that we have. So we are a school and we are able to develop opportunities for this woman with the science. So we are not only trying to make the things, but we have the opportunity to supervise, to check that the things are going well, so the woman will get the result that we and they want. So it's very important to know that we have the information and the experience for more than 2 decades working with these bees. And that's important because we want you to be part of this very wonderful project. We are the only one in Mexico that can make a birth certificate for every hive that we have. And it's very important for you to know, because if you want to give a present for a Maya woman, we don't need to cut a tree to give a hive to a Maya woman.
Right.
We produce it.
Because the Melipona bees in the wild live in logs, in tree trunks,
Yes.
living trees, and people cut down the trees to create a hive and bring it home, but that's harming the ecosystem of the forest.
This is the most terrible decision that we can have, and that's very important for us to let know the people that the good way to work with the bees is not taking any hive from the forest. We need to take a hive to the forest. And if we work together, we can take groups of hives to the woman in the forest.
Yes.
And I will tell you that these bees can stay in the garden of their house. These bees are not to be in the ancient space of production that they call parcela or milpa. No, this is to have you near from you, because the woman has no problem to work with these wonderful bees. They love to work with these because it's a high frequency. And let me tell you, to your friends, to your people, that if they could have the opportunity to feel near, to feel or hear, they could have an experience like they will make in a meditation. So this
Yes.
is an opportunity for this wonderful woman to be in touch with their own culture, because they know these bees from their grandparents, and also to preserve life around where they live. So, and also they can use this honey to save the problems that they have in the medicine, because they don't have money to have a doctor far away. I know that it's very difficult to understand this, but we don't have an institution of health around this community. We have small houses that some of the time that doesn't have a doctor. So they need, even if they have a receipt, they don't have money to buy
Right.
some medicine.
Right.
So if we can help them to have plants, if we can help them to have a honey, we are making a big service to this wonderful woman, because the institution in Mexico talk about but doesn't make a lot of things. So this is the reality where they live. And if they have the 70% of these women has their child with a midwife, not always is because they love the midwife, because it's the only possibility that they have. So
Right.
that's the invitation, Maria, that the people could be participating in this program,
Yes. Yes.
because it
There's
doesn't.
so many opportunities to collaborate with Casa Itzamna and this Melipona bee project. And, what's wonderful that I feel about this project is that you're empowering the Mayan culture you're supporting them in sometimes reclaiming that connection, that ancient connection with the Shunab Kab and the Melipona bees, or just strengthening it, helping to strengthen it, because that is, I think you told me once, this medicine, the Melipona honey is not, we don't use it like the English honeybee, the mellifera honey, and you put it on toast it's so medicinal. It's so potent because these bees are pollinating all the medicinal plants in the Peten jungle. I mean, it's powerful medicine.
Let me tell you that people maybe don't know that in the whole world we have native bees, and maybe we have 20,000 different bees. In Mexico, we have about 47 different bees, but no one of these has a sting.
Wow.
And this in the
Wow.
peninsula, we have 19 different bees, and these 19 doesn't have a sting, but not all of them can have the possibility to produce real honey to share with people. But to work with the Maya woman, we are working with the bees that are the easier to work with. They are lovely. They are really, really special, spiritual, and they represent the woman also, because the honey is the Maya woman hot. They consider that it is medicinal, but in the warm way.
I just want to make note that of all the time that I've been going to the Yucatan, I met you 2 years ago and got to see the work that you've been doing. And this year we're going to come back and do even more extensive support of your project, which we're very excited about. And by this year, I mean 2023. And but before, I learned about the Melipona bees from doing ceremony with the Mayan shamans and going to, the purification, the temazcals, and there's always an offering of the Melipona honey in water to the fire. We each drink some before going into to do our purification, and that there's such reverence. It's called wine. They call it wine, in ceremony. And it's just, it's very sacred. So I just wanted to put that in there too. It's medicinal, it's sacred, it's cosmic. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and we can have you talk through the slides you have offered.
Like you have seen, I consider that the Maya has recognized the importance of the bees like no other civilization, and they lend us different ways to understand it. Like in the mythology, where they understand that the creation of the world and the different levels of the world, just like the sky, the living world, and the underworld, has been created for the bees. There is a bee that came from the sky to create the different dimensions. And this is the only animal that can live in the third dimension.
Wow.
That's the first thing that we need to understand. Second, they lend us a manual of the work with the bees in the Maya Codex called like Madrid. The Maya Codex Madrid has 11 pages dedicated to know how do they was relationated with these bees. So now we know how do they offer, how do they work with the bees, what do they use the honey for, and what the spiritual considerations of this honey, and also which are the gods that works to preserve life with the bees. So we have a lot of information. We have a basic mythology that say that the world was created for that energy, and also in the plane where we live, that it's they live in the life in Earth. They have the consideration that we have 4 different points, and they were created also for the called backups, and the backups are the men who care the garden of the world, and they consider they put some honey in each way of the world. So just like you said, you can think the most important part of the creation and to preserve the life in earth, the Maya understood that has the Maya bees help to do that. Well, we have that origin. We have a different document, and also we have the information that the Maya woman tell to us. Most of the Maya women know or have heard of the Melipona bees, and they know how to they use their honey. It's very interesting because the Maya woman not necessarily has access to the honey, but they know how to use it. So it's in their ADN.
Right.
They know importance. They know what's the meaning. They don't have access to this honey. That's wonderful because you can talk to the people. I know I talked with a midwife that tell me that they use the Melipona honey and the canela in a tea to say, welcome to the life, to the new baby that get born. So there is a complete information and the use for the health and the beauty with this honey, but they don't have access now, and they don't have honey, and they don't have bees, excuse me. And we need to make a different management that we are able to show them, so the bees will be better, and also the production and the result will be better. Like I told you, it's a medicine that allows the healing, working, removing carnosities from the eyes, serving like a superfood, removing infection, used like antibiotic, antiseptic, and antioxidant, and And this honey has a wonderful work for the heal, and also can help the people that in the world that we live in the urban cities could be appreciated like a present of the gods, because it's small production. It will never be a big production. So the importance of this, the cultural, in the medicinal, and also that it's very very small production.
For our purposes today with this informational share, I'm just going to invite people to now view the English-speaking website for donations that we created here at Sacred Future as a collaborator, and we're just simply calling it the Melipona Bee Project. This was on our last visit to Virgil, and he introduced us to one of the Mayan healers, Mama Jacinta. And this is the Meliponaria behind us at Casa Itzamna. And it's true, you know, just being around these precious little beings is so life-changing. They do open up portals to other dimensions when you're just with them, and their honey does too. So we created this website to make it easy for people to understand the project in English language. There's a more extended bio for Virgil. Here are some of our, just a very simple list of what the expenses are, and some pictures of these incredible beings and their honey pots and their pollen pots and their babies, their nurseries. And you can see this, look at this gorgeous being. Look at, they're just so amazing. Oh my goodness, they're so magical. And then there's a really basic way to participate in a hive, in donating an eighth of a hive, a third of a hive. If you want to create a full hive and have your name on that. And we also created an opportunity where you could give a full hive but pay over 10 months for that, $30 a month for 10 months. Knowing that your money is also spread out a little bit to other projects that are necessary and needed, such as the labor, the building supplies, etc., to make this happen. What Virgil is talking about, creating 10 new mother meliponarias for these communities. Here's a link to, this is a link from a tourist community that features Casa Itzamna, and there's Mama Jacinta again opening up a hive. And then this is a very short video that I took last year of opening up a hive and getting to look inside of it. Very special. So that is accessible at the Temple of Remembering website, templeofremembering.com, and you can just scroll all the way down to the project page, the section here. So thank you everyone so much for being with us, and thank you so much, Virgil, for your time and your dedication to this amazing work that's so needed.
Thank you very much, Maria, for your patience, for your help, and very specific for your thought, because you have understood the importance of the project, the importance for the life, for the woman. And we can say to the people, to your people, that we are able to answer any questions that you have, and to make a very transparent information of these projects, because we need to work together with this woman before forests disappear, before the different species disappear, and the culture disappear. So it's important, it's our time, it's our moment. We are alive and we make something to work with the most important animal of the planet and one of the most interesting cultures of the world, the Mayan. Thank you very much for your time and your patience.
Thank you so much, Virgil.
Thank you, Maria.